College Football Update with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.
We're going to look at the games, but we're going to focus on them from a conference race perspective. So we're going to bring up the conference standings. I'm going to start with my conference so I can get it out of the way. Talk about my daggone team. Good gracious. So looking at the ACC, Florida State is atop the ACC right now as undefeated. And where's the conference one?
It's on the left. It's the first standings you'll see there.
Yeah. So we have that. We have Florida State at 6-0, Louisville at 4-1, Virginia Tech at 3-1 in the conference. Then you have the tiebreaker over us, which is Georgia Tech, who's now 3-2. We're 3-2. Duke's 2-2. Everybody after that is pretty much out of it, unless you get a couple of these that maybe potentially went out and get some W's. When you look at this,
a lot of help, yeah.
Well, yeah. When you look at this right now, first and foremost, let's go to us. I talked to you about this game. Something about these teams, kind of like Washington, where either they give us their best shot, but we kind of play down to them. At the end of the day, it was a great game. We scored 42 points, but which has been our Achilles heel the last couple of years. We gave up also over 40 points. And I think that's my biggest concern with what's been happening these last couple weeks. In the last 3 games, we've given up at least 31 points. We gave 31 to Miami, 31 to a struggling Virginia team, and now giving 46 to a team that, look, a lot of us would look at Georgia Tech and just say, really? You know what I mean? What do they have on offense? But they played up in this game. Does this knock us out of the ACC race?
No, just because of what you have in front of you. You got to play Duke still. You got to play Clemson and NC State. If you win out in conference, I mean, obviously you play Campbell this week, you'll be fine. But the other teams ahead of you have tough runs the rest of the way. So I think if you guys win out, you'll be fine. And as far as your defense goes, Miami at that time was still playing really good football. Yep. So that one kind of made sense why they got a bunch of points on you guys. But then it was just your defense has been worn down the last few weeks.
Yep.
Because of, Virginia played you physical with the run game. It's very exhausting to be pounded with the run game for a full 60 minutes like they did.
Over and over.
And then come right back into this game, and Georgia Tech did the same. Because if you look at the start of that game, your defense was holding still. Your defense was playing very well. They just got worn out. So I think getting this game against Campbell comes at the right time. Kind of allow you to get up, kind of pull some of those key defenders, let them get some rest, and then make this last push here because they desperately need that rest. Georgia Tech plays Virginia here, so that's a tough one for Georgia Tech, the way Virginia's been playing the last couple weeks. Virginia Tech, Louisville, one of them's already out the door.
Yep.
One of them's already at least tied with you. You've got Miami, NC State is a tough one. I know they're both below you. Duke right on your heels there, tied with you, plays Wake Forest. So there's some tough ones there. And that's just this week. So
yeah.
I'd still put you guys second or third for chances to get in. Obviously, I feel like Florida State's essentially a lock.
Right.
To me, it's you, Louisville, and North Carolina. Louisville, and Florida State. Sorry. So yeah, I feel like you guys still have a realistic chance. You just need Louisville to slip up.
Yeah. And now when you look at it, I think the biggest surprise for me is Virginia Tech. I mean, we saw how bad they were last year. And essentially they're still 4-4 overall, but they're 3-1 in conference after putting that work on Syracuse last week, 38-10. Realistically, I know we just said they got an important matchup this weekend. realistically, could we see them make a run at this thing? I mean, the record says so, but what do you think?
I don't think so, because if you look at the teams they've played in conference here, they're all right at the bottom of the conference standings. So the only time they played one of the teams that's higher up in the conference standings was FSU. They got whacked. They got Louisville they're on the road to Louisville this weekend. Then you've got Boston College on the road again. Then you host NC State. Then you go to Virginia. That's tough. Yeah. So I think they're going to fall out. And I think, I'd probably put Georgia Tech and Duke as the two teams right behind you there. But again, I don't like Virginia Tech's chances.
Yeah. Very surprised to see them up this high, but especially with this matchup coming up this weekend, this could be the end of that, at least that conference Cinderella run for them. They're putting wins together, so I definitely like that. But at the end of the day, we're all chasing Florida State. As you see, they're undefeated overall on 6-0 in conference. So for us, like you said, we got to win out, see if we can keep up with it. But it's going to be a hotly contested race later down this year.